Hi, my name is Callum Thompson. It's the 7th of the 2nd, 2021. This is the Diet Habits questionnaire for the Hawk Challenge. Hi Ahab, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be running through a dietary habits questionnaire. Have you ever heard of these before?
I have.
Okay, so you'll know then that they are based off the Australian guidelines for healthy eating. This is basically just to provide a series of guidelines that have been tried and tested, scientifically tried and tested for the Australian population. And what it does is it basically introduces us to the 5 major food groups, being vegetables and legumes, fruit, grain, cereals, lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, tofu, nuts, seeds, legumes and beans, and our dairy like milk, yogurt, cheese, and other alternatives. Before we get into it, the information that I give you today is general. Being a fitness professional, it's my job to provide you with a bit of an idea of what's going on in your diet, get a snapshot of what's happening in your diet, and advise you on maybe making some minor changes.
Sure.
If throughout the questionnaire we find that there's some sort of maybe more underlying issues with achieving your fitness goals, I would then refer you on to an allied health practitioner who is actually trained to take you to that next level. So, without further ado, let's get into the questionnaire.
Right, let's do it.
All right. So, your full name?
Ahab Bolus.
Ahab. What's your date of birth, mate?
The 6th of June. 2000.
2000. Right. What are your dietary goals? What are we looking at doing here?
Yes, I play a bit of footy, so I'm currently weighing about 75 kilos, and I want to put on about 5 kilos in the next 6 weeks.
In the next 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Righto. And what are your, do you have any dietary requirements or any allergies, diseases, intolerances?
No dietary requirements as such. But I'm currently doing Ramadan over the next month, so
Right.
I can't consume any food or drink between sunrise and sunset.
So that's going to limit our intake quite seriously there for the next couple of weeks at least. Okay. Well, what we'll do is we'll run through and get a bit of a snapshot of what your average intake of these 5 food groups are. You can have a bit of a look and see if we can reach that goal. Okay. So, starting off, on average, how many serves of vegetables do you have? One serving being, say, half a cup of cooked vegetables.
Yeah, probably about 5 or 6.
5 or 6. Okay. How many servings of fruit do you reckon you have a day?
2 to 3, possibly. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to, say, breads, rice, pasta, things like that.
6 or 7,
6
possibly.
or 7. Yeah. How about the amount of dairy do you consume?
Yeah, probably about 6 or 7 as well.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when it comes to meats, as you said, you try to stick to halal diets. On average, 1 serve of meat being 65 grams of, say, cooked lean red meat, or 90 to 100 grams of raw meat. How much do you reckon you'd have a day?
Probably about 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you like cooking?
No, I'm not a very good cook, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Now, the discretionary choices, like when we're out and about, ice creams and fried foods and all those things that taste wonderful. How many do you reckon do you have a day?
Not a lot. I probably have Subway takeaway most days.
Yep.
That I have from work, and that'd be about it really.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not cooking too often. You rely sort of on eating out quite a bit.
Yeah.
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 Right. So, having a look at some of the servings here in relation to the statistics from the Australian Guidelines of Healthy Eating, it appears that during Ramadan it's going to be hard to have the amount of calories intake throughout the day. So maybe with our dietary goals, we can look at maybe stretching that out from 6 weeks out just a little bit further until we can get some proper, get the really balanced diet right through the day. That being said, we can still have a look at some really good substitutes with some of those high carb intakes. So with the breads and rices and that sort of thing, maybe we can look at adding in more like some couscous or some quinoa and that sort of thing, and some more sort of vegetable-based curries and that sort of thing. They're quite easy to cook, and they provide you with a lot of vegetable intake, which is great. And when we're looking at eating vegetables, we're wanting to essentially try and eat the rainbow, as many different colours as you can, the reds, greens, orange, because all of them have different varieties of colours, have different nutrients that we need. So, and that's a pretty easy one to go by, just to get as many sort of colours as we can in while we're cooking. And I guess when we're out and about, you said, because you work late, having to rely on Subway and that sort of thing, with those discretionary choices, maybe having a look at just being a little bit more mindful of finding some lower fat, sort of avoiding those trans fats and the deep fried sort of foods, and finding substitutes around that. That's probably a pretty good place to start for now. We really need to probably just find a little bit more balance throughout this, maybe lift the amount of fruit intake that you're having a day. And other than that, it sounds sort of quite counterintuitive to avoid those trans fats and fat foods and that sort of thing when you're trying to put on weight, but the healthier and the more balanced that we can keep our bodies, and finding those nice substitutes instead of just relying on pastas and noodles and that sort of thing, and more of those more of the couscous and lentils and that sort of thing will still give us the energy that we need, and it's all just about creating balance. From there, once we get through Ramadan, we can reassess, have a bit of a look, and work from there.
Sure, perfect.
Very good.
No worries. Thank you.